Hi everyone, it's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today is a video for Scrap and Stamp Canada, and we are doing words for the Facebook challenge group. There's a little bit of a glitch in the matrix I noticed this month where we have two falls. So we have the word fall twice, but that's okay. I'm going to give you some extra inspiration for the theme of fall for your cards today. And I'm going to do that by using these two products from Sizzix and Tim Holtz. The first one is this 3D texture fades embossing folder, and this one is called Foliage. And then I'm also going to be using this super fun Thinlits die set. And this one is called Funky Foliage. So I thought these two items would be fun to create a fall themed card. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to do is I want to try doing a technique with the 3D embossing folder. And I'm going to be using my Versamark ink pad here. And what I want to do is try to put the Versamark on top of this embossing folder and then run it through my Gemini Junior and emboss the Versamark into the paper. So fingers crossed that this works well. I've seen Jennifer McGuire do it. I've seen other people do it. I haven't tried it myself successfully. So let's keep our fingers crossed and give it a go. So I have a brand new Versamark ink pad. How exciting. Is there anything better than a brand new ink pad that hasn't been soiled? And for you to understand how excited I am, this is my brand new one, and this is my used one, and look how grungy and disgusting it is. This is a product of having my kids craft along with me in the craft room, so this one is now going to be their ink pad. So yay, I have a brand new ink pad. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is decide which side I want to ink up. And I think I'm going to go with, I know it's hard to see, but if this is the front of the folder, if you can see the what do you call that? This, I guess, the template on the front of what the embossing folder looks like. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to put the Versamark on this part here. So it's where the vines are poking up. So let's give this a go. I'm going to give it a good squishy with the Versamark ink pad here. And yes, squishy is a technical term, or at least I'm calling it that now. I'm just going to coat this embossing folder really well with the Versamark. So I think that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my paper inside. Close it up, and then I'm going to run it through my embossing folder. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have ran that through my Gemini Junior, and I did that twice. So I put it through once this way, and then I turned it over and ran it through again the second time just to get a good impression. And now we're going to open this up and see what we get. We get this beautiful 3D embossed leaves. But on this side, I should have the Versamark ink. The next thing I want to do is I want to pull out my Perfect Pearls. And this one is the, I don't know what color it is, but it's the gold. Oh, no, what is it? Sunflower Sparkle is what this one is called. And now what I'm going to do is, hopefully I have some Versamark inside in the little grooves here, so that when I go ahead and apply the Perfect Pearls, it'll stick inside of there. So let's go ahead and apply this all over. Look at that beautiful gold shine. So pretty. And I can see that it's really getting inside those grooves where that Versamark is, so it seems to be working fairly well. And we'll just finish up adding the powder here as I make a mess all over my craft surface. That's okay, that's what this Tim Holtz mat is for, is to make a beautiful mess on. Anything with sparkles makes it a beautiful mess. So there we go. I really like the look of that. It's hard to see on camera, but it has put the perfect pearls, embedded it inside, and has just created this beautiful shine. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up this mess, and I'll come back with the next step of our card. Okay, so I've cleaned up my workspace and I've gone ahead and die cut the little foliage elements from the Tim Holtz die cut set here. So from this little thinlet set, again this one is funky foliage. So I've gone ahead and cut some of those out, die cut them, and then I have just kind of inked up the edges with some distress ink just to give them a bit of dimension. I've also gone ahead and cut out a frame out of this textured cardstock. This frame was just from my silhouette machine. I don't have a die cut frame, so I just used my silhouette machine for that. And what I'm thinking is I want to just kind of capture just a bit of this background in this frame. So I think what I'll do is I will go ahead and find out what I like here for inside the frame, and I was playing around with it a bit, and I think I kind of like it this little part here of this leaf. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Again, this is really nice strong adhesive that dries really quickly. The only thing you have to make sure about it is that you get it stuck down where you want. There's not a lot of wiggle room time with this stuff, but it does hold amazingly, especially on this textured cardstock. It's super important that it gets stuck down and is not going to come off. So I'm just going to unclog it. It does have a tendency to sometimes get clogged if you don't use it every day, but it is so worth having a pin to use this stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this art glitter glue, and then I will put my frame down, give that just a bit to catch, and then what I'm going to do is really just fussy cut around the outside of this frame. So go ahead and do that. You can kind of lift up the edges of the frame and just cut underneath it. And you can save the leftover pieces and use for another card if you like. So just going ahead and get this all cut out. I hope everyone's having a good day and that you found yourself being able to spend some time in your craft room. I love this time of year. Fall is my favorite time. I love the changing of the leaves, the cooler mornings and evenings. I just think fall is so beautiful. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut that out. You can see that beautiful shine that perfect pearls has given this. The next thing I want to do is, I still have a little bit that I can see here. It's bugging me, so I'm gonna cut that off. There we go. So the next thing I want to do is, I have this piece of cardstock, and this is cardstock that you can actually use Posca pens on and draw on. I just really like the feeling of it, the texture of it. I also really like the look of it. So what I want to do is I want to kind of give this more of a rustic look, and I'm using, this is a Tim Holtz distressing edger, and I'm just going to distress up the edges of this cardstock just a bit, just so it doesn't look so perfect. I kind of want it to be rustic looking, this card. So just going ahead and roughing up the edges. This will give some nice texture to everything. Now you can rough this up as little or as much as you like. You can even use the edge of your scissors if you want, if you don't have this little gadget. I just find this thing really handy. Oops. Okay, so I have this, so I kind of want to layer up our elements on the card here. Just kind of play around with how this sits. I kind of like that look. I was also thinking that maybe I would add some of this burlap behind it to add just a bit more texture to the card. It's more that fall feel. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a piece. So let's see, let's move this off to the side. And whew, look at this stuff, it's beautiful. And I'm just going to cut, let's just maybe do this size. Put that off to the side, and then I just kind of want to fray the edges a bit. Let's see. Might have to cut it down some more. We'll see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut it just a little bit more. Let's see here. And pull this side as well, just to fray the edges. Have it on a bit of an angle. So when I'm using textured pieces like this or fabric in particular, I like to use Fabri-Tac to hold down my pieces. It seems to hold it really well. So we'll just kind of put a glob down. And then just lay this over top. Just give it a minute to set up. There we go. And then I'll add this frame over top. And I think because I'm gluing this down onto fabric as well, I will use the Fabri-Tac again. It's got really bumpy on the back side as well, so this should help hold this piece down. Giving it a nice bit of glue. And we'll try and center that in the middle of the card panel. Alright, I am going to actually put something heavy over top of this and just let it set up for a bit. I'm actually going to use the trusty phone just to lay that on there and give that a minute to dry up a bit, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so that has set up nicely. I've gone ahead and actually done some decorative stitching all the way around the edge of this card with my sewing machine. This is optional. If you have a sewing machine, that can do something like that. I think it's great. It adds, again, another level of interest to your card. And then I've gone ahead and adhered that panel down onto an A2 size side folding card panel. I've just adhered it down again with my art glitter glue. So now it's time to go ahead and add our little elements. And I'm just going to kind of lay them about and see what looks best. Let's see here. Might move that guy down just a little bit. Add this blue flower maybe over here. I think that looks good. And then I've also gone ahead and die cut out this little smile. This was just a die cut that I have on hand. I think it is a Recollections die, and I think that would look nice just down here. So let's go ahead and start adhering these down onto our card. Apologize if you can hear the noise of my family running around upstairs. Not exactly sure what they're doing, but it sounds like they're having fun, whatever it is. All right. Move that guy down. I'm really trying to expand on my card making and challenge myself to do more layering and add different types of materials to my cards, and not just keeping it with paper, just giving it, you know, the card a little bit more interest and making it just a little bit more special. Add that down. And who doesn't love little mushrooms? They're so adorable. And this little guy reminds me of a cornflower. Add him there. Alright, the last thing to do is just to add our little sentiment die here. And I'm going to leave the inside of this card blank. I like to do that on majority of my cards. I like to leave it blank for the recipient to write their own personal message inside. Now, I didn't use Fabri-Tac for this smile die cut. It is partially on that kind of burlap or whatever you want to call that, but I'm hoping that the art glitter glue is going to be strong enough for it. I'm pretty sure it will be. All right. So this is the finished look at our fun fall card using different textures, using that wonderful embossing folder from Tim Holtz, adding some perfect pearls on the inside there just to give it some texture and dimension and shine. We've got these cute little die cuts as well from the Funky Foliage stamp or die set, sorry. I just think this makes a really fun and unique card, and hopefully it welcomes fall into our days. So thanks so much again for joining me today, guys, and I can't wait to see what you create. I just want to thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're looking for specific materials that I've used in today's video, go ahead and check out the links down below. As well, I'd really love it if you sent me some snail mail. I'm always interested to know what you guys have been up to and what you've been creating, and I'd love to share your cards on my next video. Thanks so much again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. P.S. I love you.